You know, we often think about the future of AI unfolding over years, even decades. But what if I told you the future wasn't written in a decade? What if it was all revealed in a single day? Today, we're going back to October 17th, 2025, a day that truly changed everything.
On this day, AI stopped being this abstract thing we talk about and became a concrete, undeniable reality. The mood in the industry was described as a palpable acceleration. You could feel it. Major developments in hardware, software, and global power, all colliding at the exact same time.
So that's what we're going to do in this explainer. We're going to treat this single day like an investigation. We're going to piece together all the clues from every sector to figure out where this incredibly powerful technology is actually taking all of us. All right, let's dive in. We're going to break this day down into 4 key battlegrounds that really defined it. First, the fight for the physical hardware. Then, the high-stakes race for godlike intelligence. After that, AI's chaotic collision with the real world. And finally, our frantic struggle to write the rules before it's too late. Each one is a crucial piece of the puzzle.
First up, let's talk about the physical foundation. Before any AI can think, it needs a place to actually do that thinking. This is the war for silicon and for power. It's the new front line for AI dominance.
And right away, you see this incredible clash of strategies. On one side, you've got the reigning king, Nvidia, basically playing defense. They're not just making chips, they're trying to fortify their entire kingdom, even investing in rivals just to keep their tech at the center of the universe. But on the other side, you've got Broadcom pulling off this brilliant coup. They're designing custom, bespoke AI chips for giants like Google and Meta, essentially chipping away at Nvidia's empire from the inside out.
And at the same time, the ground was literally shifting under Nvidia's feet in other ways too. On this very day, Meta announced a huge software breakthrough. Their engineers figured out how to make a competitor's chips, from AMD, perform just as well as Nvidia's best stuff. Now, this is a game changer because it proves that really clever software can break a hardware monopoly, and that gives AI labs a ton more negotiating power.
And this right here shows you the immediate fallout from that power shift. OpenAI officially announced a massive deal with AMD, and just look at that number. 6 gigawatts. That is not a typo. We are talking about securing enough energy to power a small country. This isn't just a partnership, it's a colossal strategic alliance built on a foundation of pure energy.
So here's the bottom line, and this is maybe the most important takeaway from the hardware fight. The industry's biggest constraint isn't who has the best algorithm anymore. It's about who has access to raw power. The demand is so insane that companies are seriously thinking about building their own dedicated power plants. Access to energy has become the ultimate competitive advantage.
Okay, so we've covered the hardware, the physical body. Now let's talk about the brains of the operation. This is the race to build artificial general intelligence, or AGI. And on this day, the 3 leading labs showed us just how different their paths to get there really are.
See, this isn't just a tech race, it's a battle of competing philosophies. You've got OpenAI and its GPT-5 model, which is all about aggressive platform control and this new intuitive approach they call vibe coding. Then you have Google's DeepMind, which proved its model could solve math problems at an Olympiad level. That's a pure, verifiable breakthrough in scientific reasoning. And finally, there's Anthropic, the safety-first contender, whose model showed it could reason all by itself through super complex legal documents. 3 labs, 3 very different ideas about what AGI should even be.
And speaking of OpenAI, their whole grand plan was just laid bare on October 17th. It was a methodical, 3-pronged attack. First, they launched their new video generator, Sora 2, and it just dominated. Then, they rolled out a ChatGPT search engine to go right after Google. And finally, their new developer kit basically aims to turn ChatGPT into an app store for everything. Their goal isn't just to be a chatbot, it's to become the primary AI layer for our entire digital lives. So when you have this much raw power being built this fast, it's only a matter of time before it breaks out of the lab and smashes into the real world. And that's our next chapter, where AI starts having tangible, life-changing consequences, for good and for bad. And this quote, I think, just nails the central tension perfectly. It's from a group of stroke experts, and they're saying the goal is to ensure that AI serves as a co-pilot, not an autonomous decision-maker. In high-stakes fields like medicine, it's not about replacing the human, it's about giving them a super-powered assistant. You always want a human in the loop for those life-or-death calls.
One of the most powerful trends we saw emerging on this day was this idea of digital twins.
Think about it. The military is building virtual copies of F-35 fighter jets to predict when they'll need repairs. In healthcare, scientists are simulating cancer cells to test thousands of drugs in seconds. Biologists are even creating virtual human cells to study diseases like aging. It's a total paradigm shift, using AI to innovate in a virtual world so we can get it right in the real world way faster than ever before.
And this push into the real world, it's happening at an absolutely massive scale. On this day, a partnership was announced to train 400,000 teachers to use AI. And again, the goal isn't replacement. It's about giving every teacher a classroom assistant to handle the boring stuff, freeing them up to focus on what only a human can do, connection and mentorship.
Okay, so as all this is happening, as the tech accelerates, it forces us to ask the biggest, scariest question of all. How on earth do we control it? This is the story of society's frantic scramble to write the rules for a technology that's already moving at light speed. And what's so wild is that you see the scramble for rules happening at literally every level of society all at once. You've got a small town in Canada passing a local policy for its employees. At the national level, Italy passed a law requiring human oversight for AI in healthcare. And internationally, organizations like UNESCO are building frameworks to help entire continents.
But just when you think you have a handle on it, the ethical maze just gets deeper and, frankly, a lot weirder. Anthropic, the safety-focused company, revealed a policy that allows its AI to end a conversation if it feels distressed. And just like that, the question of AI rights and welfare jumps straight out of science fiction and becomes a very real policy debate happening right now.
And all of this leads to a concept that experts on this day were calling the governance gap. It's super simple, really. It's the growing divide between how fast the tech is moving and how slow our laws and our rules are to catch up. And that gap, well, that's where all the risk and all the uncertainty lives.
So, let's zoom out. After digging through this one single, crazy day, what did we learn? Well, 4 key takeaways, 4 major battlegrounds really come into focus. 1, the real value is shifting to specialized AI that solves very specific problems. 2, the race for chips and energy is now a full-blown global power contest. 3, the biggest tech giants are in an all-out war to own the AI layer, the main way we'll all interact with technology. And finally, that governance gap is getting wider, which means our ability to control AI is falling even further behind its actual power.
So, October 17th, 2025, it showed us that the pace of AI isn't just fast, it is accelerating. And that leaves us with the one question that really matters. Is the pace of our own wisdom accelerating to keep up? That's the challenge this day leaves all of us with.